This is the arm of Springfield meeting agenda for May the 6th of 2025, starting at exactly 6 p.m. Just a little bit of housekeeping there. If people have cell phones, please put them on vibrate or on off. No recordings are allowed in the chambers, and no hats there. I'll do the introduction to the council. Again, I'm Mayor Patrick Therrien. Deputy Mayor Fuel is off to a location on a conference there. Next, then descending order will be Councillor Kuczynski, and next will be Councillor Miller, and next will be Councillor Warren. We'll do a land acknowledgement there. The arm of Springfield acknowledges that we are gathered on ancestral lands, Treaty 1 territory, traditional territory of the Anishinaabe, Cree, Oji-Cree, Dakota, Dene people, and on the national homeland of the Red River Métis. We'll go to item 4, please, and that's the approval of the agenda. Can I get a mover and a seconder for that, please? Councillors Warren and Kuczynski. Any questions or any additions to the agenda? Councillor Miller.
I just want a correction that in your procedure.
I disagree. We've been through this many times. Mark, there's no recordings allowed in the chambers. Media are allowed. They got to give 48 hours notice. And again, we've been through this several times. We had a special meeting as of 2 or 3 weeks ago. So I'm not sure where you're coming from with regard to this.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. As you know, our procedure bylaw does require the media to require or seek approval for recording, but there's no prohibition on the public. And as of yet, you have given me no written documentation to say that the public is excluded and or prohibited to do this. And any actual fact, I think it would be incumbent on us to allow the media and the public to record at any time. We are a public body and we ought to be publicly scrutinized, transparent, open. I don't know what more words I can express to you, but I don't know why you want to lock these doors, close these doors, and prohibit the public from recording this information. It's just beyond belief. I think it's incumbent on us. You can't make up the rules that aren't there. There is nothing written anywhere that prohibits the public from recording meetings. And if there is, show me, please.
Councillor Miller, I don't know how many times we've gone through this. You say it's me. It is not me. This is a decision of council. Council came up with a decision. You asked for a special meeting 3 weeks ago, and it was defeated. I don't know how much more clarity do you want. It was a discussion and amongst councillors there, and we had a proper democratic vote. We've been voting about this and talking. Put your hand down, please, Mr. Page. We've been talking about this repeatedly. I would say for 2.5 years. As of 3 weeks ago, it was resolved and it was defeated. So someone coming in here, seeing this is hearing misinformation. Disinformation is what it is. If they're the first time coming in here or listening online, they would say, well, yeah, why isn't he allowing that? It's not me. It's not Mayor Patrick Therrien that's made this decision. It's a decision of council. Again, as of 3 weeks ago, we went through this. We had a special meeting. So, Councillor Miller, I don't know how much more I can say about that. It's almost like you don't remember what happened 3 weeks ago. And I'm older than you, and I got a poorer memory than yourself. But emphatically, it was clear on our resolution.
Mr. Mayor, I'm looking at the minutes, There is nothing written in black and white that prohibits the public. You can shake your head. You can keep saying that we've done this 10 times. You can say there was a special meeting, but frankly, there is nothing prohibiting the public. And if there is, by way of chance, I hope that public challenges this, because this should be an open, transparent forum. This should be an open, transparent chamber. Why would you or any other member of council ever want to exclude or prohibit the public from documenting what's taking place in a public chamber? Can you not disassociate the private sector from the public sector? The public sector is open to the public, and I'll continue to fight for that every meeting if I have to, because it's so critically important in a democratic process to allow the public. Despite what you say it was a special meeting, there's nothing in those special meeting minutes that prohibits the public from recording. So I will fight to the public, for the public, till the death of my days.
Okay. You say open and transparent forum, and you use the word democracy, and we have a democracy here. We voted on it. We are elected officials, and we voted on it. I can't say anything much more than that. And I don't understand what's. I was there. I don't even have to look at the minutes. We had a resolution, Mark, twice. 2 resolutions there for cameras in there. 2 resolutions, Mark. No, I agree. But thank you for your thoughts there. So,
exactly.
Thank you. So please, Mrs. Burbank. Anything else from council for the approval of the agenda? I see none. Then I need a show of hands for those in support approval of the agenda. It's Councillor Warren and Therrien. Those opposed, Councillors Miller and Kuczynski, and so defeated. So where do I go from there?
So I just need an explanation what's not being approved on the agenda then. What would you like changed?
Well, there's a whole, I can't speak until I'm identified.
Okay, we can't proceed until we pass an agenda. So I guess if you don't want to approve the agenda, how do you want to change it so that we can move forward?
Okay, I would like to have Dr. Page as a delegation this evening to speak to the minutes.
Well, that's a whole different procedure. It's you're asking for the
An
emergency
amendment to the agenda.
Okay,
Sorry.
so this is what you want him to speak as a delegation? But what would that have to do with what we were just talking about 2 minutes ago? This is a whole different path that you're taking now.
No, there's a number of items on this agenda.
I know, but this is different. Now you want to do the emergency provisions to allow Mr. Page to talk?
Because Dr. Page has some special meeting minutes as well as council meeting minutes amendments that are pertinent to this, that are critical.
We've got his email here. It's on file. You know well that Councillor Fuel isn't here. And you know well, the vote, I can't say how the vote is going to be there, but to do that and to allow the emergency provisions, it's not meant for that purpose.
Actually, you can amend minutes, or I'm sorry, the agenda at any time. Any council member can ask to have anything added to an agenda at any time. Well, during this section anyway. So.
I know, and we have a bylaw for delegations, and he should have submitted his paperwork like everybody else there in advance, so he can appear today. So what is the reason for him to talk today? That is it emergency provisions? It's got to be a time sensitive in an emergency. Is this either or?
Absolutely, because those meeting minutes are on the agenda this evening. And second off, you forget or overlook, I'm not sure which it is, that delegations at the whim of council can be added at that council meeting. They don't have to seek approval from the CAO or anyone else.
Yes, no, I agree.
In advance. So I'm just suggesting, if we want to move forward with this agenda, that we add Dr. Page as a delegation. That's all. It's a simple request, and I think it's very useful and helpful to provide accuracy and truth
Okay, I guess you got a seconder? Councillor Kuczynski. Then if we have a resolution read, then we can vote on it.
So be it resolved that the agenda be amended to add an unscheduled delegation from Daniel Page, minutes.
Those in support of Mr. Page in a delegation, please show hands. Levy hands, Councillors Miller and Kuczynski. Those opposed, Councillors Warren and Therrien, and so defeated. We still haven't got approval of the agenda though.
And I don't think, Mr. Mayor, if I may say politely, I don't think you'll get approval of the agenda because I think it's very, very critical. It's on the agenda today. If Dr. Page presents at a future meeting, these items will not be on that agenda, and you will say that it's not pertinent to the agenda. You know, we become such an exclusive club here, relegating the public to basically silencing them. And I just think this has finally got to stop. This has absolutely got to stop. And in terms of bylaw 2410, if you will realize parliamentary procedure as well as Robert's Rules of Order, you'll realize that our bylaw, as Dr. Page tried to express to you tonight, that it still stands. The public can record meetings. There is no prohibition. Yes, that resolution was defeated, but it was to amend the bylaw. So I don't think you quite understand the parliamentary procedure that's been at play. So I think it's kind of in your hands. I think Councillor Kuczynski had something. I thought you had your hand up, sorry.
Okay.
So I could suggest if you want to defer the minutes until a future meeting to allow a delegation on them, that's how you can proceed.
I think that would be a solution for the immediate, as long as Dr. Page is allowed to speak to these minutes.
As a delegation, yes, if he does the submitting the paperwork, then that's how procedure is done.
Well, that's one way, right?
Yeah, no, I agree. It is one way. Doing it the other way, I think everybody else has to do the paperwork there. I don't think that this we're going to go nowhere with this. So we'll just defer the minutes.
Do you want to move that or?
Yeah, I can.
Did we do that by resolution or?
Oh, yeah, it would be another resolution. So I just need a seconder.
Who's the seconder? Councillor Warren?
If I may add, though, just make sure it's the special meeting minutes of March 28th. It's the council meeting minutes of April 1st and the 2025 financial plan hearing minutes of April 22nd. So it's 3 sets.
So just the 3 sets deferred?
Oh, I'm sorry. And special, yeah, April 29th.
The 4 sets of minutes?
Yeah, I stand corrected. Thank you.
So was it the 4 or 3 that we're talking about? The entire thing?
4, Mr. Mayor.
Okay.
5, I would like agenda on Chabot also deferred. Minute.
So be it resolved that the agenda be amended to defer the March 28th, April 1st, April 22nd, and April 29th minutes to the May 20th council meeting.
Okay, if I can get a show of hands, those in support of deferring it. Councillors Kuczynski and Miller, those opposed. Councillors Warren and Mayor Therrien. So then it's defeated.
I have been muted.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't see your hand. You voted against that,
I have been,
Councillor Warren?
Were you?
Did you vote against that one? I didn't see your hand, sorry.
Oh,
You
okay.
voted for it? Okay.
I have been muted.
Because it's just when you were going like this, I wasn't sure.
I have been muted.
Okay, so it's carried, deferred to, do we have to give us a date before we leave
I
here?
put to May 20th. council
So
meeting.
just for the record, it'd be on May the 20th. Okay,
The
if
whole
we can, if,
The
okay, then if we can go to special reports, please, our elected officials there, item
Muted.
item 6.1. Can I get a mover and a seconder, please?
muted.
Councillors Miller and Warren. Sorry. Go ahead, Councillor Miller.
You're not, sorry.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I had another resident express concern that they thought that they would like to speak to us tonight as a council, as a delegation, but we're finding these barriers difficult for people to, prepare things and look over the agenda and all the rest of it, especially with the Jets in the playoffs. But I can make lots of excuses, but I think we really need to tweak and revisit the delegation process because, again, we've silenced a majority of our public through no question period, and the delegation process is onerous and people are not thrilled with it. And so I just look to be accountable to the public. But beyond that, it has come to my attention that the RO treatment that is proposed for the water, the DOWS project, that there might be an alternative route for that is less invasive for the environment. And I would like a delegation of experts to speak to that at a future meeting. Maybe that will be May 20th, but I just wanted to share that with council. I just wanted to add my expression of sincere gratitude to the kinsmen in our community who went above and beyond and cleaned a number of ditches and yards and a whole bunch of things this last week, and they probably will continue to do that. They're instrumental in our community, and again, these are the unsung heroes, champions in our community that don't get the Queen Elizabeth Award or King Charles Award, but they are the ones who are walking amongst our midst, are in the food stores and are, amazing people. Again, they don't need the accolades or the embellishment, but they sure do a lot of good stuff for our community. So thank you to the kinsmen. My final item is, it has come to light that JohnQ is being investigated for their contracts that they put forth on a number of jobs through a company that was linked to an individual named Marnie Larkin. It was public, and it is public. Marnie Larkin was I believe, the co-campaign manager for the Conservative Party last election. She owns or is a part owner of Boom Done Next construction company. And so the provincial government is very concerned that not only JohnQ, but could it be that the WMR and other organizations that are affiliated prior to this new government had operatives within those organizations who were gaining benefit from that. So I would suggest that our council and the arm of Springfield be very cautious and be very, very conscientious of how JohnQ is operating and who is being involved, because again, this is very serious allegations that there is money being funneled to political operatives. And this is the kind of thing that makes residents sick. It's called corruption. It's called political advancement. It's called a whole host of other names, but it makes me sick when I see this kind of nonsense going on where individuals can use their political influence to garner contracts wrongfully under the disguise of an organization that frankly is hidden from the public. Because as you and I know, Mr. Mayor, JohnQ rarely provides a lot of information to the public, and Councillor Kuczynski and I were approached to, I guess, be involved in the organization, but we did not sign the confidentiality agreement because we believe that these things should be transparent and open to the public at all times, especially when it's public currency, it's public funds that are being used to fund these organizations, and yet they can be hidden under an umbrella of secrecy. That itself is wrong. That itself is not the way you operate a publicly funded organization. And so having said that, I just encourage the public and I encourage our council to be very cautious with JohnQ coming forward on any initiative. And even though they have the disguise of great daycares and other initiatives, it's not to say that they haven't done good work, but the reality is that if it's a funnel to support political operatives, then that ought not to take place. And they should be reprimanded and or even, how can I say, disband if this kind of nonsense is going on. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Miller. These are allegations like anything else. Due process has to apply. Nobody's been found guilty. This is just allegations. So I think you're a little bit strong on that. I am part of JohnQ, and I'm sure that's relevant to everybody. And we have been working.
You have no idea due process.
I forgot where the heck I was. So being very cautious, of course, we're always going to be very cautious, but we also have to be cautious there that these are allegations and nothing's been proven in court. Political operatives, that's very, very strong words, Councillor Miller. I don't even know how I would start from something like that, so I'm not going to argue that there. But I thank you for your comments, and there is there's 17 of us around the table, and there's no corruption that I see at all. I go in there with my head held up, and I leave with my head held up as well. Any other comments or questions from council? I just want to put in there about my report from AMM and the Winnipeg Metropolitan Region. Maybe I can expand upon that if I can find it. Yeah, the AMM there was held at the RBC Convention Center with over 800 delegates from across the province. Learning sessions or breakout sessions were conducted throughout the 2.5 day conference there. I found many CEOs attended, as did councillors from the North and South First Nations, ministers, deputies, executive assistants alike, plus MLAs from both government, opposition, and in the government. Speeches were given out or presented by Minister Simard, Municipal Relations, Matt Weeb, Justice Minister, and Ms. Naylor of the Highways Department there, plus opposition MLAs as well. So many discussions were had with the ministers and the MLAs throughout. And many other reeves and mayors. Networking was paramount with the mayors and reeves. If anybody wants to have a look at my comments, they're all on the agenda there. There's 2 pages of comments on there, as well as my report on a WMR report as well. So unless there's any other questions or comments, Councillor Kuczynski.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I would like to ask you, you attended the meeting with the mayors and on the AMM meetings. Can you please explain what the mayors talks about it? Because I don't know why the councillors are not privy to those meetings. It's AMM supposed to be for all the members of the council, and yet only mayors go there, and we don't know what discussions are going on those meetings. Can you elaborate, please?
Okay, thank you, Councillor Kuczynski. Yes, this has been going on for many, many years. I think it's a government initiative there. They want to meet in a room with the mayors in the Reeves and the CEOs especially. So it's not an elitist type thing there. The ministers. This is the third year that I've been going to that, and every year it's a different minister. And this year is a Minister Simard, his executive assistant, the deputy minister. There's other ministers present as well, and just questions. He was asking how things are going in the RMs. How is the feeling of councils, and how are things progressing in RMs. They do get updates there quite readily there, and this is a chance for a question and answer period. The FCM as well.
Oh, they have question and answer.
So if sorry, I'm not sure where the heck I was here. Good. All right, thank you. Yeah, there's question and answers there. It's very respectful, very courteous there. About an hour and a half, I believe, is what it is. Topics on tariffs, as well as buying local and keeping it Canadian. Very strong Canadian team Canada approach to these meetings there. Everybody in the room is very strong. When it comes to buying Canadian, and plus the President of the United States name has come up a few times. We talked about weights, road restrictions, alignments, which will impact the RMM, as well as other RMs attached to the perimeter and businesses that will benefit there. And that's in regards to our Cedar Lake corridor, the bridge there coming off PageWizard there. There was discussions with regards to that. Also, there was discussions on disruptions in council chambers there across the province and across the country and globally, I could say North America. That said, I have my report on here, and the threats against public officials are up 169% between 2022 and 2024. There is an example there in another session that we had addressing anti-government and anti-establishment hate. That was the session name of it there. And I'll be honest with you, there's a very candid Reeve that talked about having her family's life threatened there from individuals that had met her and her kids there. I know her very well. Don't ask me the name because I will not divulge that. From an extremist group, very disruptive behavior and intimidation. Other recurring misinformation, disinformation in print and media from far right extremist groups. Artificial intelligence used to attack officials from these extremist groups are further progressing distorted and misinformation. Discussions were done at tables, a mixture of RMs present, which many CEOs, councillors, and mayors and Reeves were present at. And like known that myself, a deputy minister or deputy mayor Fuel and Councillor Warren, we attended some of these sessions, and in this one session there, deputy mayor and myself and the CEO were present there. We're at different tables, so we had really round and frank discussions, very good discussions there, and we had an Americans contingent from Washington. So there's different remedies that they were exploring and how to resolve some of these matters, and faith-based groups as well. We had a presentation from Minister Wiebe. It's all on my my report. Hope that answers it there, Councillor Kuczynski.
Well, you said who attend the meetings. We didn't learn anything that was speak anything on behalf of municipality, and what we gain from those meetings that gonna benefit our municipality. I would like to ask that question.
Well, are you talking about just the CEOs here that we were there?
No, the
The
minute
conference?
with the mayors and you know, always there it's meeting with the mayors. Instead, everybody should be able to attend those meetings, not only the mayor, because if talking about municipality issues, then I think councillors should be welcome to those meetings as well, not only mayor, because then you're not telling us what you discussed there, and so how do we know what was what was said and how we proceed with everything? That's my statement, and if you have answer, I appreciate that.
Well, I think I gave you that answer just before that, Councillor Kuczynski. Any other questions? Councillor Miller?
Yeah, I want to continue. I want to continue it. WMR. You stated that there was meeting on April 16. How that meeting was advertised? That because I went on a WMR site and there is no advertisement of this meeting going forward. So how people supposed to learn about this meeting? And if it says here that people could Zoom. If people not aware about it, how people could Zoom?
That was
You never presented to this council or this community that this meeting gonna happen on this April 16.
you know, I believe I did. This isn't open to the public yet. These are consultations amongst the mayors and the reeves to get a new regional plan together. So there is your wife was asking the same question on an email, and the answer to that is that the one that's going to be public will be on June. I'll get the date to you exactly when the meeting is where public can attend. But these are consultations amongst the mayors and the reeves and our consultants to formulate another plan that replaces 2050.
So again, can you tell us, community, like you attend this meeting, what was said and how that gonna benefit our community?
So that's kind of a long question, but I'm prepared to answer it as best I can there. These meetings there are, as you know, we got rid of Plan 2050. It wasn't a good plan, so we are formulating another plan. We are going through a group discussions. We have experts there from across the country there that we sit down and then we formulate what our objectives are. And it's in the process. We're working still towards that goal of making a new regional plan, and it's very important regional planning there so that we get all the infrastructures together. I know there is a discussions there amongst mayors and reeves about a regional plan with regards to a ladder truck there. And this is all discussions there where a regional plan, we're all at the table and we can discuss what is going to be utilized. As you all know, a fire apparatus, especially a fire truck, a ladder truck, I should say, is extremely expensive. And I think we just had a discussion with our chief. We're talking $3 million for that, and not to minimize that. You know, there's no price you pay for saving lives. You always replace a house and so on. But that said, $3 million is not something that we could just throw together for that. So regional planning for the fire truck, that's just kind of one of those examples that we have for discussions there, and how we share ideas going forward, and that's going to be part of the regional plan, and how we can share cost-effective means towards all the RMs working together in a contiguous government plan worked out where the federal government will provide money just like they're doing now. But we're working at the city of Winnipeg and the continuous 17 RMs around the city of Winnipeg that will work together and save money and work together to work in a unified approach.
So you mentioned you getting some information from consultants.
Yeah.
What these consultants know about our community that they're gonna help us?
That's up to me to know about our community. They do all the research. They know RM Springfield quite well because the WMR knows all the regions around the city of Winnipeg, 17 regions. They've already had a very good breakdown and analysis of all the structures that are present there. So for that's going to be part of the plan.
So these consultants going to come and consult with our community members here. So if they're going to be deciding on our behalf or suggesting, then maybe they should consult with our community so they know what community have plans and what the residents required for our community and going forward.
Well, they are. They're going to have public discussions there. I don't know what the dates are for that. I think we had that discussion last council meeting there, but I don't know what those dates are. But sure, there's going to be public consultation like there was with the last one there.
It's going to be consultation with these consultants, or just we're going to have public hearings and meetings with our community on what basis?
Sure. Everybody's invited to these. I don't know what the makeup is going to be like there, where they're going to have these consultations, and that's still a work in progress.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions, Councillor Miller?
Thank you, Mayor. Just following up from Councillor Kuczynski on your report as well, I wanted to ask a few questions because you give a bit of an overview. For instance, and I quote in your presentation or your report that they're meeting with mayors, reviews, and CEOs across the province. Presentations from executives of AMM, FCM were made, as well as Manitoba Infrastructure Minister, and so on. But it doesn't give any meat and potatoes in it. In other words, it's all nice and good that these meetings took place. Another example of that would be there was frank and open discussion, but again, there was no resilience to it. In other words, nothing that, as Councillor Kuczynski said, comes back to the RM of benefit. So if you were grading this as a university professor and or a supervisor of a company, some of the things that you'd really want to see is the cost. What was the cost to the RM for participation at the AMM? In other words, as we know, councillors receive their annual per diem, but they also see a daily per diem plus meals and other things. It would be nice if it was explicitly clear and transparent for the public to see what did it cost? What did it cost to send councillor X, Y, and Z to these kinds of meetings? Because it's their dollars. It's their dollars that are doing that, providing that. Also, what are, as Councillor Kuczynski says, are the deliverables and the benefits specifically for the RM of Springfield? We want deliverables. We don't just want this to be a love and networking event, because you know what? We've done lots of that kind of thing. And yes, they are useful at times, but we want actual deliverables. When these events are costing taxpayers, ratepayers, thousands and thousands of dollars for registration and delegate fees, and where's the value for dollars for all of this? And I don't just mean by submitting your expense report into a bit of a gutter into payroll. I mean publicly, transparently, openly disclosing this information. Not that somebody has to hunt for it and try to wiggle through the bureaucratic maze, because frankly, that's what it is. It's very difficult for any member of the public here to find out this type of information. I think it's finally come to a point where we need to be much better, much more transparent, much more financially accountable, and much more open. We can do this. What is prohibiting us? Because the status quo is not working for the general public. And we need change. We really do. When we're spending so many thousands of dollars for conferences all the time, this isn't just a one-off. I think we need to raise the bar. And don't give me the excuse that other RMs aren't doing it, so that's satisfactory. Can we not be the champion for public transparency and openness? If I remember, you, as I did, campaigned strongly on being open, transparent, and accountable. I've tried to do that in every document report that I've done. And I think I'm not the model. I think I can improve too. But I'm just encouraging you, Mr. Mayor, or anybody that attends an event, to disclose this information upfront so the public can gauge if the deliverables were worth the cost of sending you to this type of an event going forward. This is all I'm asking, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Well, you know, I'm going to try to keep it together here because everything that we're doing is going in circles here. This is something that I've answered, as Deputy Fuel has answered. And again, it comes down to the question. Somebody may come here for the first time and thinking, well, what's going on in the RM of Springfield? This is what's going on in 137 different RMs in this province. We've been to the FCM, the Federation of Community Municipalities, Canadian Municipalities there, and there's thousands of people, mayors and reeves and councillors that attend these. You go there to vote for your delegates for this regional. You address resolutions that are there that will affect your RM. So you go there for a purpose, and I think you used the word escapades in one of your emails. There's no escapades going on there. You went to the FCM in Calgary with Andy Kuczynski there. There's nothing rocket science when it comes to this stuff here. I sent, yeah, I think you did in Calgary. Okay, Councillor Kuczynski. Yeah, you're right. So you've attended these meetings. You attended meetings and conferences across the world. There, these things are establishing rapport with other RMs there, other councillors across the country. There at some of these FCMs, and some of them are the Americans as well. So the discussion isn't just a big party. It is absolutely not that. And anybody that has been to this and comes back and says that it was a big party, they have no idea what the hell they're talking about. So I submitted reports. Councillor Warren has submitted reports. Councillor Fuel as Deputy Mayor has submitted reports. So it's all tangible there. When you were in Calgary there, I don't know if you submitted a report for that or Councillor Kuczynski there, but mine was quite thorough and quite elongated there. Much like when I talk maybe sometimes too much, but everything is in there. It's above transparent. I do not frivolously spend, and neither does anybody else that attends there. If I have a beer, and I have had a beer after hours there, it's on my dime. Nobody pays for that. So that's part of it. There is establishing a rapport with the other RMs and the mayors. I made contact with the Consul General for the government of Japan there, and talking to him and his executive, and that was at a bar, a function that you guys were at as well. Councillors Miller and Kuczynski, I see your hand there. So it was a great event. So exchange cards, and that's something that could have come to fruition and brought us some extra work and some, at least it's establishing rapport in a network there. And I met all kinds of different cultures there. So it is not a time where you're partying it up. There's examples of clean infill areas there, high density housing, water treatment plants. So there's lots of educational sessions there. And if we go, Councillor Warren will go to a different one there, and Deputy Fuel will go to a different one there, and we all learn something there, and we bring it back to our constituents and to the RM. And helps them and us to go forward, because we're in the process of looking for a new water treatment plant, and that water treatment plant will allow us to be going forward. So there is no, I don't know why you would want to cast it in a bad light. It is not something that's done lightly. This has been going on for quite some time. We're representing the RM. We're putting it out there. We're wearing our T-shirts, and we're talking to people there and trying to bring business to the RM, as well as just to get to know people. And then we're there to elect our officials from the FCM. And as well as at the AMM, we're electing officials that's going to represent us at the Association of Manitoba Municipalities as well. Okay, are we still on the same topic here? Okay. Go ahead, Councillor.
Thank you, Mayor. You're trying to justify things, but how I try to justify things is saying, where are those deliverables and specific benefits? We just don't have your verbatim of saying, yes, we go there, we learn a lot, and we talk to people, and we see these events. Where are the deliverables, the actual things that have benefited our RM? So that's what I'm after. You
Can
also,
you,
he's not listening,
Edwin's,
so I guess I'll
my reply to Edwin there.
Yeah. One other thing, you had indicated that you try to be a champion of misinformation or disinformation, or try to discern between the two. You had indicated, and I just want to be very clear about this to the public, that us as councillors receive a meal per diem. Whether he or anybody else spends it on a beer doesn't matter. He doesn't submit, or I don't submit that specific receipt. We claim a per diem, a food per diem. So he can, or I can, choose to eat Cheetos, to be frank. We can choose to have a meal, but our per diem is our per diem in meals. So I don't know where you're going with that in context, saying that you didn't, but it doesn't matter. I mean, I just want to say that every cent of tax dollars should be accounted for, and I think there's a better way to do it, just because a lot of other places aren't doing it properly or aren't really wanting to be proper. You know, the RM of MacDonald has the ability only to send 1 or 2 councillors to these events on an annual basis. And here we are in the RM of Springfield saying, because we're the biggest and we, I guess, have all the money in the world, we can send everyone everywhere all the time. I think that's inappropriate and a misuse of taxpayers' money. I would put my onus on Councillor Warren or anybody else on this chamber to be my advocate at these meetings and to report back and have deliverables. I don't always need to be there, nor does Councillor Warren or the mayor or anybody else. I think it's absolutely critical for us to be there, but again, we're using ratepayers' money like it's coming off the money tree, and I think that's wrong.
Thank you. Just I'll respond to that. I wrote this to an individual there. Much of what you're just saying there. Thank you for your email, which essentially reiterates your stance from your earlier email. This email should answer your concerns regarding council event participation. That said, you go into length that there has to be quantifiable, tangible results to these conferences. Those comments where you ask what has been gained is not always possible. How is an opportunity to dialogue, build partnerships with your peers, learn from experts, learning sessions that help our RM able to provide tangibles. It is noted in the business world, a business premise in an attempt to sell product, make partnerships, establish rapport with conferences is a primary goal. At these conferences, we attend presentations with subject matter experts, federal provincial ministers, the prime minister, the premier, specific topic sessions, table discussions, again, from mayors, reeves, and councillors, wardens, which is what they call them in the prairies there, from across Canada, provincial representatives. You cannot get that interaction unless you're present. Unless you are present at these, it cannot be done effectively over the phone or via Zoom, etc. I have used the analogy before, and which is pertinent to this discussion. You are better to be at the table than standing outside of it. Interactions amongst a group and person or person to person will always be the preferable means to communicate, and I doubt anyone can say otherwise. The importance of attending to establish the rapport put our RM in its excellent position for business, residential, and alike, i.e., our new water treatment plant, our rec center, Dougal Place with its pool, business, etc., going forward. Unless we are present, how would anyone know or our RM? Further, any discussions, very frank and open regarding provincial, federal, are done after hours, and it was at this time and venue where I met a high official, and that's the Consul General for the government of Japan. I did follow up with him, and nothing was resulted, but you would never know unless you had to try. Further, there are presentations, lectures on pressing issues of the day, misinformation, threats to local government officials, environmental issues, tours of examples of buildings and local initiatives that are impressive, and you see how it works in person, not on paper. That said, we do not attend the same lectures, breakout sessions to capture much of the sessions as we can. At these events, we will we'll also vote on very important issues: crime, housing initiatives, municipal funding, formulas, etc. Voting in elected officials, both levels from across Canada at the FCM provincially and at the AMM. We and I have spoken on behalf of the arm of this RM to the federal provincial ministers, the Premier himself, their executive cabinet ministers, deputy ministers, or the minister's executive assistants are always available nearby, and I talk to them at length. Their time constraints are often not as pressing, and we are able to dialogue on varying issues at the ministerial level and on issues in our RM. It has been beneficial to put our RM in focus, more so than just another square on a map. Yes, it's expensive, but we have budgeted for this in the yearly budgets, as other RMs have done and will continue to do so. There is always a recognition of the taxpayers' money under circumstances, under no circumstances will we ever squander monies. And I believe I sent that to you as well. That was on the 4th. Well, I hope that answers it. I don't think we're going to get any more involved or resolve anything there, but I hope that answers your questions. Councillor Kuczynski.
I want to follow up a little bit what Mr. Miller, Councillor Miller said about municipality of MacDonald. They're only not sending out the councillor to those meetings, but in their municipality, the business is not paying business tax because they saving money. They being frugal with how they spend their money. So that's a big bonus for their municipality. So if we want to attract the business to our municipality, we should maybe follow the other municipality that doing the right things right. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Councillor Warren.
I just had one, and it pertains to our AMM discussion that you guys have been having for a while. So when I go to these AMM breakout sessions and whatnot, like if you read my report, there was a Water Services Board presentation, right? I've never seen that before, and it explained funding and different avenues. And then I went to the Manitoba Wildlife Federation presentation on public lands and our shared resources. Now, many people know that hunting has changed over the last year. And so there was a lot of discussion with the Manitoba Wildlife Federation and the government and also the Indigenous people in how do we share our lands and how do we work together. So
thank you, Colin.
For me to sit there and listen to the whole dialogue, I mean, that for me, that's informative. It might not be informative for somebody else, but I mean, that's what I went to. And then building a stronger Manitoba, well, that was, you know, that gets into more of the how does government work? How does the CAO and the assistant CAO and the finance, how does that all work together? So like there's more to, and this is all about Manitoba. This is what I went to was strictly Manitoba based, right? Like that's what I bring back from it. If we go to FCM, like when we went to the FCM last year, or not, sorry, not last year, the year before when we went to Toronto, I went on the tour that showed me mixed development. So you had businesses on the bottom, you had apartments on the top, on the next layer, and then all the parking for the residents was on the backside of those businesses, and then the front street was all for the business, for the patrons to come in and shop and then leave. And when you go to Toronto, some of those streets are fairly wide so that they benefit from all the sunshine. So there's different things that everybody takes away from going to these things and how you can bring them back to your area and how they fit. So just keep that in mind. And I know like when we get our FCM and our AMM emails when they start, we all get to see what they're going to be talking about. Like there's the whole agenda's broken down right there. And if there is something that if a counselor's not going, I would appreciate if you see something that you really are interested in, that you let somebody know and we could sit on it and get the information and bring that back. Thanks.
Thank you. Any other questions, comments? Go ahead, Councillor
I would
Kuczynski.
like to make one comment. Like we went to Calgary last year, and Prime Minister Justin Trudeau came and told us lots of nice story that how wonderful we're doing and how we can get grants. When somebody asked him question, how we can apply for the grants, he said, the grants already gone. There is nothing there. Are we gonna have new program? A new program for the whole Canada, $2 million. So it's all, how many municipalities? We have just 137 municipalities in Manitoba. How many municipalities we have across the country of Canada? So, you know, it's okay to make a big presentation, but it's nothing behind it. So, you know, so we seen that the Prime Minister for maybe what? He speak for 15 minutes and ask maybe three questions to from the public, and he was gone. So, you know, not a big deal that, you know, we see him and, you know, live on the stage. So that's my opinion, what I seen at that. Thanks.
Thank you. I just for the record, I tried to go meet with the Prime Minister there, and not a good thing, people. He's got very strong security. I wasn't hauled out or anything. They're very polite, but still, I tried. But I went to go see Elizabeth May, and there was no security at all. So that's kind of my comedic part there. Okay, then could I get a show of hands of those in support of the reports? That is unanimous and is carried. Let's get to departmental reports. 6.2, a mover and I was going to say a shaker, a seconder for this, Warren and Therrien. Any questions rising from the reports there? Councillor Warren?
I don't really have a question, more of a comment. It's very, very dry out there. And in the last couple of days, our fire crews have been working nonstop. So I would be cautioning people to be very vigilant when they are outside. So that's it.
I totally agree with you. Councillor Miller?
Thank you, Mayor. I would back what Councillor Warren and others will think as well. I had some calls from residents who are very concerned that the dry conditions, that a spark from even a quad or other vehicles could cause havoc. And so because my specialty is actually environmental protection and climate change, I do know that we're looking at severe conditions going forward for a prolonged period of time. And I'm glad that I believe it was the RM that took the lead yesterday to designate, is it a class 1 fire restriction or something of that nature? I know St. Clements has a fire ban, but we need to do everything possible to ensure that our community does not burn. We don't want to be California, and we certainly don't want to be a hotspot that we're looking to be.
Yeah, we're right now at a class 3 level, so it's basically nothing except a propane barbecue. So travel restrictions and all.
That's great news. Thank you.
And I looked just before the meeting, our website, and it's not updated yet. It's level 1 only, so it should be level 3.
Yeah, I think it starts tomorrow, the level 3,
Okay.
so we'll be updating that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, that's exactly what I was going to say. Any other comments?
Oh, one more thing I want to talk about public works. Like I just was coming here, and Oakwood Road was done halfway to Pine Ridge. I get there an out of you know, their supplies. So I hope there is lots of potholes there, and I appreciate before residents start calling that, you know, that we can correct those issues in time. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. Then there's no other questions. Councillor Miller?
Just one other observation, Mayor. I have had a number of calls from residents on Pine Ridge and Deacon indicating that there's a number of heavy truck traffic and that they're quite concerned. So I'm hoping that the RM, I have shared these concerns with our CAO, and I'm hoping that she and others in the departments affected will take a rapid response to this, because they're very agitated and very concerned that not only because of safety, but because the road could diminish because of the impact of these this heavy traffic. So I leave it in your hands to respond and take immediate action on that. Thank you.
Okay, I just want to make a note there that I saw the RCMP in the industrial park today. Went to visit a buddy there and got my tires changed, and they were hitting it hard there. So that's good. Very good coverage there for what I saw today in any case. Okay, with all the reports there, can I get a show of hands of those in support of forwarding the or accepting the reports? It's unanimous and it's carried. Then if we can go to 8 and 8.1, that's the bylaw 2505. Mover and a seconder for that, please. Warren and Therrien.
Be it resolved that first reading be given to bylaw number 2505, being a bylaw to regulate the use of firearms in the RM of Springfield.
Questions on that from council? Councillor Miller?
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to make sure that, again, this is consistent, and the background on it, I know we've been provided some of it, but it's not out of sync what's being applied in other communities around Manitoba. Is that correct?
Yeah, we did the review of surrounding municipalities and we're consistent.
Any other comments or questions from council? I see none. Can I get a show of hands of those in support of, or get a resolution for that?
It's
Have you
already
read it
read.
already?
Yeah.
Oh, it's already been read. So a show of hands of those in support of 2505. That is unanimous and is carried. Then 8.2, that's bylaw 2506, unsightly bylaw, first reading, mover and a seconder. Warren and Therrien.
Be it resolved that first reading be given to bylaw number 2506, being a bylaw of the RM of Springfield to maintain property and to regulate unsightly property within the municipality.
Any questions from council? Councillor Warren? Or I'm sorry, Miller?
Thank you,
That's a
Mayor.
peripheral vision.
Thank you, Mayor. Again, I just want to ask if this is somewhat consistent to other municipalities. As I read it, as it's drafted, it gives a little bit of discretion to the not publicly elected individuals who apply this bylaw. And so I'm not so necessarily worried about that, but I just want to make sure that there's no bias and or preference given to certain people being overlooked and or others not being overlooked because it's the person's buddy, or, you know, Fred knows Joan and stuff like this. So again, is there some consistency? Has it been applied, and what is the feedback and or the outcomes of it in other communities?
I mean, I can't say I can't say we are consistent, but it's also based on what we need in our municipality. Right now, we are complaint-based enforcement. So we're not going out and looking for properties. They are all, when we receive complaints, we will enforce it.
Councillor Kuczynski?
Yes, thank you, Colleen, for that answer. Another thing I want to point out that our bylaw, maybe it's presented to us as urban maybe bylaw, because people will have smaller lots. The residents who live in the country, you know, rural areas, we move for purpose, go to the country so we can have our freedom and we can put our stuff whatever we want on our property. As long, you know, we don't and put nuisance on the neighbors or something like that. But, you know, we have bigger lot and we can hide lots of stuff on our properties. And, you know, I wouldn't want that somebody come to me and said, oh, move this, move this, move this, move that, because, you know, we should have freedom and don't take the freedom away from people in our municipality. If we don't infringe of you know, on a negative way on our neighbors. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions from council at all? I see none. Then if I can get the resolution read, we can vote on it.
Read it already.
Sorry, we already read it. There's, can I get a show of hands of those in support of bylaw 2506? That's item 8.2. First reading of unsightly bylaw. Councillors Warren and Mayor Therrien. Those opposed? Councillors Kuczynski and Miller. The report's defeated. Then we'll go to 9.1. That's action items from April 1st of 2025. Can I get a mover and a seconder for that too, please? Miller
Sorry,
and-
I don't have a resolution for this. This is just information to follow up.
Oh.
There were some questions that were kind of outstanding from that meeting, so these are just the answers for council and the public information. So
Everybody read that? Questions? Councillor Miller?
By submitting your comments in writing through the RM website, who reviews it? So it says here the administration reviews, quote, submit your comments in writing, unquote. Submissions through the website and adds the submissions to the agenda for council information. I think it's council information only, but a number of residents have expressed to me that they would like to see their comments, that the public can also see those comments because there's concerns. In other words, it's like a chat. It's almost like a chat line. I mean, anything that's derogatory or you know, discriminatory or anything of that nature, of course, we wouldn't want to have that. But just general comments, I think, are useful. Again, I go back to the thrust that we've eliminated question period. We have restrictions on delegations, and this ability for the public to comment on the website is nice, but nobody else sees it, so it's kind of useless. So then we go back to the purview of social media and rant and rave, so everybody can do almost anything and say anything. And so are we inciting or basically encouraging people to say, screw the RM, let's go to social media and we'll get them at that angle? So I think, again, we can do a better job in allowing public comments to be just that. The term is in there, make them public for others to see, because these are good responses. These are good responses, and I think others would benefit from these responses and this information.
Sorry, CEO, but this is the process that we've put into place, and it's working well. The questions were here, and the questions are answered, and they're public. They're on the agenda. So I'm not sure how much more than you can say there. It's transparent. And then when it gets the social media, that's really not our concern. We have no control over that. Then I'll turn it over to our CEO for the reply.
So this is a new process, and I think we're still working out the kinks. Like you said, you know, we received some that I wouldn't publicly post because they're not appropriate. It doesn't give people the right to say whatever they want to say about people. So we will regulate that. For the most part, we have been attaching them publicly. But other times, really, it's questions to council, and it's for council to review them and you know, use that information before you vote. If you have questions, and that's your opportunity to ask council or staff. So right now, I would say we're not consistent, and we should be, but I think it's something we need to discuss with council and see what we're really kind of trying to achieve from this.
Thank you, Mayor. I think all of us just received a text or an email from a resident who said he's being denied access to the Zoom meeting. I don't know who necessarily that is, but are we denying people access to the Zoom meeting?
Yes, that was Edwin, and he was the one that was trying to interrupt all the time. And he would stop and so on there. So it's gotten disruptive. So we've denied him.
We can't have staff sitting here and having to mute people when they constantly interrupt a meeting. That's not appropriate and it's not allowed. So third time you're kind of out.
Yeah, and it was far more than that.
Well, can't we just mute that person? We just have
No,
to.
but I guess he can go around it, and he was the one that was interrupting all the time, and losing my train of thought, and he was on here. So no, he's been. It's not the first time. So let's get back to this. So the answers are all here, and so everything has been answered. Did I interrupt you there, CEO?
Nope. That's all I wanted to provide.
Okay. Any other questions or comments with regards to that? I see none. Then we'll go on to consent agenda. If we can do the consent agenda from 10.1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. With all that being read, can I get a mover and a seconder for that? Warren and Miller. Any questions or comments with regards to the consent agenda? Those items I read 10.1 to 8. Warren, Councillor Warren.
Thank you. 10.8, Manitoba Good Roads Association. Once again, we will be doing the annual competition. I think you can get the information from the RM. I think we are going to post it on our website. And just once again, thank you and congratulations to our 2 winners from 2024.
Thank you,
Okay.
Councillor Warren. We went to that banquet. It's 139 years. The Good Roads there have been working for the province. It was an exceptional banquet, and our 2 deserving winners, fantastic properties there, and exceptional people. So I congratulate them. That's on the record for the names and so on like that. I got somebody for you as well, Councillor Warren, for next year already. Just went by the place there. Okay, thank you very much for that. There's no other questions or comments. There, can I get a show of hands, those for consent agenda? Unanimous and carried. Then we'll go to new business, 11.1. That's the Seine Roseau Watershed District Municipal Levy. Say that twice. There, Mayor Therrien and somebody else. Councillor Warren. Any questions or comments with regards to this? 11.1 on the agenda. I see none. Can I get a show of hands of those in support?
I just had a question.
Sure, go ahead.
For the Seine Roseau Watershed, is Councillor Fuel on that one?
Correct. Yeah.
He is? Okay.
Okay. Any other questions? I see none. Get a show of hands of those in support. Unanimous and it's carried. We'll go to 11.2. That's a Springfield Collegiate Institute scholarship for 2025. Mover and a seconder. Miller and Kuczynski.
Be resolved that Council of the RM of Springfield provide a scholarship in the amount of $750 for awards recognizing academic achievement for the Springfield Collegiate Institute for 2025. And be it further resolved that Mayor Therrien or alternate be delegated to attend the graduation ceremony on June 26 in Winnipeg to present the award.
Thank you. Any questions, comments from the council? Show of hands, those in support. It's unanimous and is carried. 11.1 is Community Futures Winnipeg River Annual General Meeting and Awards Banquet. Can I get a mover and a seconder? Kuczynski and Warren.
Be resolved that all of council be delegated to attend the Community Futures Winnipeg River Annual General Meeting and Awards Banquet on June 19th in Lac du Bonnet at their discretion.
Thank you. Any questions, comments, Councillor Miller?
So I believe Councillor Fuel is on the board, so he receives his ticket for free to attend. This year we do not have a winner from Springfield. In the past we have, and that's when most of council will attend at that point, but so do you want to amend the resolution to specific attendees then? Did you plan to attend?
I'm not sure. Yeah, I can't decide. Well, that's what I think that was the intent. It's just that we'll put the wording down there.
Could we not put 2 or 3 members of council or up to 3 members of council participate if that's what we want to do? And then we can fight it out, I guess. But actually, it shouldn't be that. It should be who's best interested. Yeah, Glenn, absolutely. Councillor Fuel.
For
With
the
2 at least.
mover and seconder, if you agree to the amendment, it would be resolved that up to 3 members of council be delegated to attend the Community Futures Winnipeg River Annual General Meeting and Awards Banquet on June 19th in Lac du Bonnet.
I don't know if I've ever been. I might have went to the one, but not everybody attended there. But that's the way it's read is good with me. Can we get a show of hands? Those in support of the resolution as amended? Is unanimous and is carried. Then we'll go to 11.4. That's Association of Rural Municipalities Capital Region Golf Tournament. Mover and a seconder, please. Warren Therrien.
Be it resolved that all of council be delegated to attend the Association of Rural Municipalities Capital Region Golf Tournament being held August 7th, 2025 in Toulon at their discretion.
Questions or comments? Councillor Miller?
Thank you, Mayor. Again, I'm going to be kind of a pain in everybody's side, but I think, again, to save taxpayers, ratepayers money, it should be those who either have a sincere interest to golf or there can be a gained interest deliverables for our RM. So on that note, I will opt out. So it doesn't need to be all of council. I don't feel I can contribute to the golf swing. And although I do golf, I don't think I'm going to take the time to do it at this event. But if others want to participate, I think we should, again, restrict it to those who have a sincere interest and vested interest for our community.
Yeah, but I think it's already, what is the wording of the resolution?
That's for all of council to attend at their discretion.
Yeah, so I guess that's what it is. I'm not a golfer. Hockey tournament, yeah, I'll be there in a flash there. But I think Glenn's our only golfer here. You do golf, Andy?
So
No.
do you want to amend it to up to 3 council members again?
No, I think just the wording the way it is fine. I think we're just kind of reinventing the wheel. Those in attendance, but we already know it's going to be 1. No, I'm not a golfer. Well, he's not.
It's up to 3, so it could be 1, 2, or 3.
Okay.
So amended to be it resolved that up to 3 members of council be delegated to attend.
It's Glenn and Glenn and Glenn. Okay, those show of hands. Are those in support? That's unanimous and carried. Then we'll go to 11.5. That's ward appropriations. There, a mover and a seconder. Warren and Kuczynski.
Be it resolved that the following 2025 ward appropriation be approved. Enola Grade 8 Farewell Committee for $500, and we're suggesting $100 from each ward or each council member.
Yeah. If Glenn's not here, did we just vote for him?
Yes.
Use his money? Councillor Warren?
I can give more if you want, and then Glenn can pay me back one day.
Yeah, so yeah.
I'm
we
sure
can
he
do
would
it.
be fine with it. He's approved all the other farewell ones for $100 as well, so.
Yeah. Okay, any questions from council? Get a show of hands, those in support? That's unanimous, it's carried. List of accounts, it's 11.6. This mover and a seconder, please. Therrien and Warren. Any questions from council at all? Councillor Miller? Please, I can't get this. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. I have a couple of line items. The first one being relating to praxis management. I had the line item here and now it's gone, but
162378.
378. And yes, that's correct, for 4,596.38. If there's a detail on what that expenditure is for, please.
That was for the code of conduct investigation.
Thank you. I believe there's one other here I'd like to pull out. Let me just take a second here. 162446 Springfield Chamber of Commerce for 2,275.
That was a resolution approving the 2025 membership.
Was it membership or
Well,
was
it's
it?
a sponsorship and it includes your membership.
Okay, thank you. And I think that's adequate. Thank you.
Any other questions, comments from Councillor Kuczynski?
162457, Contact Project Limited.
62457.
Yeah.
Contact projects.
457.
I just signed that one and it's for the Enola Oak Bank and Springfield transfer station or water treatment plants. They were doing flush outs and valves, I believe. That's contact. I think Phil is online. Maybe he can correct me, but maybe he gave up too. I can confirm.
Okay, thank you.
That was it.
I think you said yes, Councillor Kuczynski, but you're still looking.
No, I'm done. Thank you.
Oh, okay. Can I get a show of hands then 11.6 list of
I'll
count?
just read the resolution if
Okay.
that's okay. Whereas disbursements have been reviewed for the period of March 13th to April 15th, be it resolved that all accounts listed on the attached printout from check 162353 to 162475, totaling $750,059.01, be approved for payment, as well as the following EFT entries: Western Financial $18,546.56, Amelia $331.19, Superpass $27.92, John Deere $26,146.86, RBC Visa $10,547.71, Manitoba Hydro $37,613.25, Bell Mobility $2347.32, Bell Canada $6252.68, Volvo $20,898.98, Red River Co-op $29,527.16, and CMHC debenture payment $35,814.04, and be it further resolved that March payroll in the amount of $285,257.16 be approved.
With that being read, can I get a show of hands of those in support of 11.6? That is so carried. And then we'll have mover and a seconder for 11.7. That's a briefing note, RE Chabot settlement.
So again, I don't have a resolution.
Oh.
This was just the direction when I spoke with council. They asked that we put out a public statement about the Chabot settlement. So we drafted this and it's just attached for information for council.
So nothing's changed in when we saw it last?
No.
Councillor Miller?
He's already been advised to apply for a different meeting if he wants to come as a delegation, and I believe he is. So he missed the deadline for this meeting, and so we offered him the May 13th or May 20th, and I believe he's coming on May 20th. Correct. None of this information will change. These are the facts. This is what happened, so it's not to be debated. This is just the public information that we're putting forward.
Circumvented that because it's not on the agenda, you can't speak to it. So, okay, great. Thank you.
Okay, then we'll go to closed meeting. An item on there at 12.1 is a code of conduct. Can I get a mover and a seconder for that? Warren and Therrien. We'll close the chambers, please, or everybody has to leave and we'll talk.
Be it resolved that this meeting recess to in camera to discuss legal issues, and be it further resolved that all matters shall remain confidential until a report is made public.
Those in support? Those in support? Warren and Therrien, those opposed? Miller and Kuczynski? Therefore defeated. Sorry, did you say something, Karen? Oh, I thought you had a hand up there for a second. Okay, then I get, we'll go to adjournment. Anybody got a problem with that? Mover, what's that? No, you can talk to me after if you like. Okay, a mover and a seconder to go to adjournment. Warren and Therrien, thank you very much. The meeting is closed at 7:27 p.m. Thank you.